Hello, my name is Heidi Gross. I'm a volunteer with the Business Advocacy Committee here at Campbell County for the Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm visiting with candidate Mark Christensen, who is running for the office of County Commissioner. So we've invited Mr. Christensen to talk with us today about his views on business issues here in Campbell County. So to begin with, Mark, can you please provide an example of a way that you have supported the Campbell County business community?
Yeah, thanks, Heidi.
You're welcome.
When we look at it, I'm running for re-election, and I think there's actually a number of things we've done. So first of all, we still don't tax our full mills in Campbell County. So Campbell County, the Board of Commissioners, taxes about, we currently tax 11 of the about 70 mills that everybody pays. We have the ability to go to 12. I believe we are the only county in the state that does not do that. There may be one other one. And so that's something that helps people out a little bit. The other thing is we have definitely taken a more ambitious role in economic development. So we tripled our commitment to the organization this year. That organization has went through a major, shakeup isn't the right word, but it has been reorganized the last couple of years. And Phil and Mary and his team are really headed in a good direction. Unfortunately, a lot of the work being done now should have been done 20 plus years ago to put us in a better spot, but that is being done now. And the other thing is that we recently completed the acquisition of some property out by Camplex. There's been an announcement related to a company called Rex Carbon, and we're going to really look for opportunities to stimulate growth within the economy for businesses that create what I would call like a living wage. So people who come with a salary that they can afford to live in Gillette, Wyoming, come with good benefits, and that enhance the energy products that we develop here. So.
Great, very good. So what would you do then, Mark, as a commissioner to improve the business climate here in Campbell County? Any other ideas that you have to keep that momentum going?
I think we are. So we need to continue what we're doing. What has been started with economic development, even if we can really fast track it compared to other communities, we still probably got at least a couple years. Unfortunately, we've seen job losses at 40, 50, 100. That one day we had 400 in one day. And unfortunately, as we're going to be rebuilding and we're going to be adding these, they're going to be 40, 50, 60 at a time.
Right.
But the thing is that's going to be different, and these will be very stable. So we do have major assets here in the minerals we do produce. There's a lot of talk about diversification. Diversification is fine, but we should look at what we have as an asset. And the reason that we become such a great location for activated carbon is the coal's already here.
Right.
They basically, when they convert it from coal to carbon, they lose 3/4 of the weight. So if you do that here, it's much cheaper than it is to ship 4 times as much product somewhere else and then do that transformation. So over time, we'll see more of that happen. We have great facilities here, which are good for business recruitment. We're going to need to make sure we maintain and keep that up. Fortunately, we've done a good job, I think, at budgeting, and we'll be in a good position to continue that. We made some major investments in the college, which I think will be good for which should be good for providing a trained workforce. And we're looking at programs with them right now. We're also starting a higher education committee to look at offering some 4-year degrees and maybe even some master's level degrees here, similar to what they have in Casper. Casper right now offers about a little over 30 undergraduate and master's levels programs through the University of Wyoming locally on their campus. So we'll start some of that, and in the long term, those will all be good things. The other thing that's unique is the board has taken a much more active role recently with federal agencies and with those issues. So for a long time, I think everybody here was just mad and upset. And there was this thought for decades, it's like, well, our coal is the cheapest way to produce electricity, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
And we missed this environmental movement. Well, now we're playing a little bit of catch up. So instead of just being mad, this last couple years, what we've done is we focused on developing relationships at Interior, at BLM, OSM, and then instead of going in and just presenting a different view, we're actually negotiating. So like this last year, myself and a couple other board members, we went and said, okay, you've got a moratorium on any new coal leases. We may not agree with you on the moratorium,
Right.
but would you at least work with us to grant us exceptions on these X number of leases so that our mines can continue to produce and be active? And we've been pretty successful in that. So we're going to have to continue some of those activities.
Great. Good. So what is your vision then for Wyoming the next 3 to 5 years, Mark?
So I think the thing that Wyoming we're going to have to do, in a lot of ways, Wyoming's like a third world country. We're like a colony. And by that, what I mean is it's like, if you go back generations, millennia, like you used to see like the British and all these civilizations, they would conquer somebody for their natural resources. And then they just took the raw material and shipped it back to England. And then they used it for their mills or for their whatever. And so in many ways, we've done that with our minerals. We take the coal, we ship it out as opposed to shipping out power. Do the same thing with our oil and gas. We could do lots of things with like gas to liquids. We could do any number of things. And so what's going to happen, the benefit of doing those conversions and those enhancements is when they create jobs. Those jobs also are ones that have a multiplier because they require contractors and services and other businesses to support them.
Right.
And the other thing that's nice is that those particular jobs are more stable. They're less impacted by the ups and downs and fluctuations in those energy markets. So I think we'll see a transformation that way. The state's making some investments, the county's making some investments. That's the goal behind our industrial park here. You know, it's really not for like traditional industrial activities. It's more what I would consider like game-changing enhancements to our materials. And there'll be some pieces like that, and it's going to take a while, but they'll come together nicely.
Great. Okay. So as an elected official then, what actions can you take as a commissioner to ensure that that vision comes to fruition then?
So the thing that's different like about the Board of Commissioners versus like a lot of elected ones is we actually still have a hand directly on the management as opposed to having a director or manager underneath us that oversees all those operations. And so the board itself is very involved. We're active. We've got positions on different activities and different boards, continue to serve in those ways. We're making money available to the programs that need to have it available. And really a lot of this is just having a good long-term commitment. And so with regard to the economic development activities, there has to be a good, consistent long-term plan. Phil's put that in place. We've supported it. Like I said, we tripled our commitment of funds this year. We're also moving forward with the Rex Carbon project and some other things out in that park. So those things has to be good, consistent effort. That's happening. The rest of this, with regard to providing good services and stuff to make our economy and our community nice. We were fortunate in what has been approved in the previous years. Our budget stayed very conservative in the fact of what our operating costs were. So we're going to have to make some adjustments, but we'll still have the best services in the state. We'll still have the best facilities in the state. We're just going to have to adjust to a new normal.
Right.
And the real benefit is that we've put away a lot of savings. I'd like to continue to do that. That is what has made, even though there's been this major downturn, the county lost 27% of its revenue this year. But people haven't noticed yet, and a lot of that was because we were conservative with those other things. We had been using a lot of the additional funds for capital. We've got most of our capital facilities taken care of now, and we've been putting a lot into savings to maintain those facilities in the long term. So now we've still got money available to focus on these other options.
Wonderful.
So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you coming in. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Mark. Good to see you.